Hello, my name is Crystal Gilchrist. In today's presentation, we will be discussing workplace incentives and employee motivation. This first slide here is my abstract. This study examined how financial and non-financial incentives influence employee motivation, job performance, and satisfaction among corporate workers in Natchez, Mississippi. A survey collected demographic data and employees' perceptions of bonuses, raises, recognition, flexibility, and professional growth. The results revealed which incentives most strongly impact motivation and workplace experiences. The findings offer guidance for improving engagement and retention through balanced incentive strategies. So, a brief overview and a little introduction. Workplace incentives are important because they help motivate employees, improve their work, and make them happier on the job. Today, companies want to keep good workers and make sure they stay productive. So, it's helpful to understand what truly motivates them. This study looks at employees in Natchez, Mississippi, and compares financial incentives like bonuses and raises with non-financial incentives like recognition and flexible schedules. The survey results show which incentives work best and how they help create a more motivated and productive workplace. So, a little bit on the purpose of this study. The purpose of this study was to determine which incentives, financial or non-financial, most strongly motivated employees and influence job performance. During this research, I needed 4 questions answered, and these are my research questions. The questions that I needed answered was, how do financial incentives influence employee motivation? How do non-financial incentives influence employee motivation? Which incentive types most strongly affects job performance? And how do incentives shape workplace satisfaction? So my methodology behind all of this, I used the survey method. I had participants from corporate workers in Natchez, Mississippi. I collected data on demographics and incentive perception, and I analyzed by using graphs and comparative insights. During the time that I was sending out my survey and I was coming up with my questions, one of the questions that I asked was, how often do financial incentives increase your job performance? When employees were asked this question, 81% said sometimes. This means that money can motivate people, but it doesn't work the same for everyone. Financial rewards may give a quick boost, but they aren't the main reason employees work hard. Many workers also care about support, recognition, and having a positive place to work, not just the money. Financial incentives are good, but most people want to be seen when they're working their job. They want to have their personal connection with their employers. So that's why financial incentives may not always just be the best. Moving on. The next thing, I asked the question to get an overview of the age group that we were working in. So I asked, what is your age? When looking at the age data, most people who took the survey were either under 25 or between 45 and 55. This is common in many workplaces because younger employees are just starting their careers while older employees have more experience. Having both groups give a good mix of opinions about what motivates workers. The age difference also shows that people may want different types of incentives. Younger workers often want chances to learn and flexible hours, while older workers may prefer stability, recognition, and financial rewards. This helps explain why different age groups respond differently to workplace incentives. So the next question that was asked is, what is your gender? The gender data shows that more women took the survey than men. Women made up about 64% of the responses, while men made up 32%. This might reflect the types of jobs in the companies studied where women often hold more positions. Because more women responded, the results may show more about what motivates women at work while still including men's views. Overall, this helps us to see how different groups may respond to different incentives and motivation strategies. The next question that was asked is, what is your highest level of education? The demographic data also show participants' education level, which helps explain how education affects motivation at work. About 36.4% of the participants had a master's degree, meaning many had advanced training and possible specialized jobs. Employees with more education may value chances to grow, learn new skills, and be recognized, along with getting financial rewards. This helps show how different education levels can help shape what motivates people. The next slide discusses the incentives and employee motivation data overview. This section shows the results of the survey about workplace incentives. It includes charts and graphs for each research question and explains what the data means. It also shows demographic information like age, education, and job roles to help understand how different groups respond. Overall, this section highlights the main findings and what they tell us about employee motivation, performance, and satisfaction. When we look over this chart, it shows how motivated employees feel when incentives are offered. Most people said they feel very motivated. This means incentives help employees work harder and stay focused. Incentives make employees feel appreciated and give them something extra to work toward. When companies reward good work, motivation and loyalty increases. Overall, the results shows that incentives are a strong way to boost employee motivation. When asked how satisfied are you with the incentives offered at your job, most participants said they were satisfied with the incentives at their jobs. This satisfaction helps employees stay loyal, motivated, and committed. The data shows that good incentive programs boost motivation and help companies keep strong workers. When we look over this chart, the chart shows that most employees feel very motivated when incentives are offered. Incentives help people work harder, stay focused, and feel valued. They also encourage employees to stay with their jobs. Overall, the data shows that incentives are a powerful way to boost workplace motivation. When we look over this chart, the data shows that 66.7% of employees are mostly satisfied with their non-financial incentives. This means most workers feel good about recognition, flexible schedules, and training. These benefits help employees feel valued and improve overall job satisfaction. When we look over this chart, we see that most participants, which is 76.2%, said they are more motivated by non-financial incentives like recognition, flexible schedules, and growth opportunities. This shows that employees value long-term support and a positive work culture more than short-term financial rewards. When asked how often non-financial incentives improve their performance, 52.4% said sometimes. This means these incentives, like recognition and flexible schedules, can help, but the impact is different for each person. They motivate some employees often, while others only feel the boost occasionally. Overall, non-financial incentives help, but they aren't the main motivator for everyone. When the question was asked which financial incentives they value the most, 38.1% chose raises and 33.3% chose overtime. This shows that employees appreciate both steady pay increases and opportunities to earn extra money when needed. When asked if they felt fairly paid, most said yes, but 30% said no. Feeling fairly paid boosts motivation and satisfaction, while those who feel underpaid may feel undervalued. Fair pay strongly affects how employees see their worth at a workplace. When asked if their company recognizes good work, most employees said mostly agree or strongly agree. This shows that employees feel noticed, which can boost motivation, morale, and create a positive workplace. When asked if incentives encourage teamwork, 45.5% strongly agreed and 31.8% somewhat agreed. This shows that many employees believe incentives help teams work better together, boosting cooperation and overall team performance. When asked how often their company gives performance-based incentives, 45.5% said quarterly. Regular rewards help employees see the results of their work and keep motivation steady. This study shows that both financial and non financial incentives boost motivation and performance. Recognition, time off, and career growth often have the biggest impact overall. Good incentive programs keep employees engaged, encourage teamwork, and increase loyalty. This here is just my appendix. It's showing a picture that I've drawn showing that how employees are more motivated and happier when they are getting incentives versus when they're not. And at the bottom, it just shows some of the respondents to my survey. I would like to thank you all for listening to my TED Talk on how incentives motivate employers, and I hope to speak to you all again soon.